Player 2 has joined the game.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 368 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Fantastic. I cannot believe you're actually wearing a hoodie, but
it is fall.
It is
fall.
Nice.
Came in with a vengeance.
Whimper.
Yeah. Perfect weather today.
It is beautiful.
Jeans and a light jacket / hoodie weather. Perfect.
That's what I'm wearing too. You know.
It's perfect. Like, I don't want to have to wear a heavy jacket. That's too cold. I don't want to have to wear gloves or a hat. That's too cold.
Oof. Sorry, James. Yeah, that is rough.
I don't think I've ever had a migraine in my life.
I have horrible headaches.
Yeah, I've had bad headaches.
Debilitating headaches. But
I've never had
to the point
sharp,
where I can't.
I feel like a migraine is pretty sharp, right?
Mine's always right here.
I
where
feel
the
like
dent
every
is.
headache I've ever had is like
95 degrees
dull.
in Texas. Jesus.
Wow.
Okay, we should do the intro. If this is the first time you're ever seeing, hearing, or
Yeah.
listening to us, this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast. We're just about every other week, unless you're at the beach the week before. Two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure you like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, and everyone in betwixt. If you really like us, you can go to patreon.com/2playercoop, where we got a lot of different benefits for you people and some t-shirts at the other website. Oh my God. The most popular tier is the $5 tier, which will make you a producer, lets you watch us record the podcast live every day on YouTube. Remind me to tell you what that just reminded me of. Every day on YouTube. I don't even know what I'm saying. Watch us record the podcast live on YouTube as we're doing right now. Bonus episode every month. And if you miss the live recording, you also get the podcast one day early on YouTube before it goes public. Some of our patrons deserve a shout out. Just like our patron saint, Mr. John Tingley, the man with the bar named after him. As well as our affiliates, Derek Bamford, James Solar. Make sure you check out James Games and More on YouTube. And Mom. Also, our producers, Steve Appleton, Dustin Downs, and Chris Peralta. Make sure you check out PS Rewind on YouTube as well.
I need Peralta here. I got to ask him a question. So if he shows up, remind me that I wanted to talk to him.
I'll forget.
Okay.
You could just send a message in the Discord.
Yeah.
As I was saying earlier, if you like cool t-shirts and the like, you can go to teespring.com/stores/2playercoop. We think that link still works. Sean.
Does that link still work?
That one does. It gives me like a treasure chest with like a watermelon in it in Tears of the Kingdom or something.
It doesn't give you a life up heart every time?
Every
time.
was it the and then the time? Was that the same thing?
Yeah.
That was the same sentence, yeah.
And you just every time you get
a heart every
you get a life up heart every time.
It's so stupid. We've been doing this podcast for a while. I almost forgot about it, but we'll do it now. I didn't want to talk about it. So now, fantasy football update.
Yes. Okay.
So this is what you were going to talk about?
No. Oh, yeah, actually. More of a question about rules, but...
Okay, I have now... I think it's been 3 games. I've gone 1-2 in my last 3. Sean's gone 2-1, so he's now in first place in our division. 4-2. I've dropped to 3-3. I say 1-2, but really I've lost 2 games in a row. It just sounds a lot better if I say I'm 1-2 over the last 3. But it's not good. Not great. Not great.
I played arguably the top 2 teams the last 2 weeks. Taylor was 3-1 last week. Keenan was 4-1 this week.
Keenan is not that. His roster is not that good.
No, and that's the thing. I was not expecting to beat Taylor. That was a lot closer than I thought it would be.
I got Taylor this week.
I expected to beat Keenan, and then Neighbors sat out again. So I'm like, well, now I'm in trouble. And I was, but I held on. Next week, I don't want to get rid of Aubrey. I'm not going to. I'm either going to ride it out.
You can't, because he's the only one that might get you a 60-yarder every game.
I'm either going to ride it out,
and also,
or I'm going to have to find somebody else to drop. They're the perfect, like, move the ball and then sputter, kick a field goal. Like, and he's amazing. Like, I'm not dropping him.
Yep.
That being said, having said that, rules-wise, could I... Oh, no, it won't work.
You can just start somebody on a bye.
I can, yeah. But what I was going to say is, let's say it gets to Monday morning and I'm down by 2 points. Then can I drop somebody, or are there no free agents at that point and it's all like I wouldn't be able to make an immediate transaction? Would that go to waiver? Like I wouldn't be able to get them in time, do you know?
I think you would be able
because
to.
I also wouldn't be able to drop anybody unless they were also playing Monday
except
night.
the kicker, right? Because you wouldn't have everybody else.
Well, I've got
play.
Kyler, but I'm not dropping Kyler for
a kicker. No,
even though I think I'm probably going with Darnold this week. Darnold versus the Lions or Kyler versus the Chargers. I'm going Darnold, despite what the Lions just did to Dak.
Right? I think.
Good question. I think that's in Minnesota. Yeah. But theoretically, there's
the
two
Vikings
Monday
are
night
much
games.
better than the Cowboys. Also,
there's 2 Monday night games.
Yeah. One's only on ESPN Plus.
Technically I do have McConkey. He's not great. So he would not have played yet. I could drop him for a kicker.
Is he on a bye or is he the Monday night?
No,
game?
they're playing Monday night.
Then you would do that, yeah.
But can I do that?
I think so. Yeah, I don't see why not, because even after Thursday games, you can still pick up and drop players. Yeah, you definitely can. It's just, you better hope that one of the 4 teams has a kicker.
Both the Chargers and the Cardinals kickers are available. Okay. I can't remember what the other game is, but both of their kickers are available.
Bucks and Ravens.
Ravens is not available.
No.
And I don't even know who the
Justin
Bucks
Tucker
kicker
sucks.
is. But yeah, I don't know what happened to him. But so that may be my plan. I may see if I can just win without a kicker.
Yeah, I would wait.
If I drop McConkey and I don't get him back,
I don't think it's that big a deal. Like,
I know who my 3 go-to wide receivers are, and Downs is probably my 4th if any of them get injured or on a bye.
When you picked him up,
I don't even remember. Oh, Down syndrome.
Yeah. Everybody says, like, the fantasy podcast. Like Matthew Berry said it, and I think the Ringer guys were saying it too. That like Josh Downs is the most talented receiver on that team.
Oh, yeah.
But
once Richardson's back, I'm like, I don't. And I thought Pittman was going on IR. I was watching that game on Sunday, and all of a sudden he catches a touch, and I'm like, why are you here? I didn't even realize he was playing.
It's because you never know. Backs are weird.
But I thought they had put him on IR.
No.
I guess they were just talking about it.
They were talking about it, and then all of a sudden, late in the week, it was like, I woke up and I'm feeling better. Well, I guess I'm good.
I mean, all's well that ends well. I held on barely. I mean, I won by like 10, but like I'm just like, when that dude, what's his name? Johnson. Like when the first 2 touches he got went for like 12 and 10 yards. And he just, boom.
And then
I'm like, he's one missed tackle from taking it the whole way. So I was worried the whole game. But luckily Davis was killing it, so they kept feeding him. So I'm like, okay, I don't know. And I don't think Johnson ever even touched the ball again.
I don't think so.
They had him in there, but he was just blocking. So I don't know. But yeah, 4-2. You're 3-3. I think Mike is 2-4, and then Thomas is in our division, right? And he's 0-6. So I got a game up.
I really think we might be able to get to a 10-team league next year. I think Thomas is out. I think he's done.
But yeah, good times. Oh, I also checked my median scoring.
I've given up. It's too confusing.
I would be 3-3. I'm 4-2 actual record. I would have another 3-3 for median scoring.
So 7-5.
Yeah, but 2 weeks I was the top of the bottom half. So it means nothing.
I did look for this week because I'm so pissed that I score 100 points and still lose. I was the bottom of the top 6. I thought I was going to be like 3 or 4, but I played the wrong guy. Nope.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Fantasy football. Gotta love it.
No, you don't. Sean and I were at the beach last week, and it was immaculate. Perfect.
Yeah.
In Florida, luckily, we're on the Panhandle. No hurricanes.
The one before just missed them. We weren't there. The second one, while we were there, also missed us. It just
stayed and went. Like, it just went across Florida, and then it was like, right?
Yeah. Had some good waves. Yep. Had some weird sea butterflies. Is that what they were called?
Yeah, what was that again? Oh, yeah.
The little spiny
butterflies.
Things
all of a sudden, the girls are walking out, like our wives are walking out of the water, and they're like, what is going on? And they're like, look at my bag. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then they show us, and it's like they had fiberglass. It's almost like they had fiberglass in their suit. And what we found out after I researched for like an hour trying to figure out what these stupid things are, they're sea butterflies. At first, we thought they were something. What did I think they were called? Or did I always know it was sea butterflies?
There was something you said before you got to that, but I don't remember what.
But they just
lice.
Oh yeah,
sea lice. Ugh,
Like,
that'd be even worse.
that is 100 times worse. But like they're not like pointy, and they don't stick to your skin, but they can easily stick to fabric. But then if they stick to the inside of your
sea
fabric,
butterflies, or is that
No.
just some weird thing that sea butterflies?
they
shoot
don't like
at?
shoot it out. But it's like I don't know if it's them shedding or molting or whatever.
Okay, so those things are not alive. Those are just little things they leave behind.
yes.
Okay.
Speaking of things
Still
that were
gross.
alive, after you left, I don't remember if it was. It must have been. Wait, you left Thursday, so we went to the beach Thursday and Friday. I don't remember which day it was, but there was one day I was out there with Casey or somebody, just like kind of wading in the water and stuff. And
Waiting for what?
as I said, I was like, I should have chosen a different word because dad jokes are going to get me. I see a crab about this body, about this big, and I'm like, whoa, let me grab it. And I thought I saw it like crab walking, trying to, and so I picked it up and it was just like, I was like, oh man.
Like a full crab, or just like
No, yeah, full crab.
Okay.
Missing a leg, but it's still got 7 legs. He was doing okay. I'm like, Casey, I think it's dead after all, but come here and look at this. I'm like, look at this. This is so cool. Jess, look, I got a crab. And I was like,
you went,
well, but then I'm like, I'm pretty sure I saw this thing moving. It could have been the waves, but so then I start, it's big pincher. I'm like, anything? Nothing? Okay. And then I like look him dead in the eyes, and he's got like this, like, he's got like a mouth like this.
mandibles,
Yeah, he's got like mandible claws, and then he's got like, it looks like whale,
blubber.
not blubber, but like the non-teeth, like seaweed looking teeth or something. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about either.
But then, so I'm like, and he goes, boop. He goes, I was like, oh, good, he is alive. Okay. He was just playing dead. I was like,
He's like,
you
I
should
just
have
lost a leg.
you should have played alive, not played dead. Because if you're dead, I'm liable to just be like, yeah. But I was like, okay, here you go, little guy. Go float away. So, yeah, that was fun. The beach was perfect. It was like 80 every day. Nice breeze. Sunshine every day except one, I think.
The first day was like cloudy,
Yeah.
but that was the day I got burned. So
I told you. Well, I didn't tell you. Oh, I did tell you.
you told me when you came out, you're like, you're burned. I'm like, well, okay.
But I thought I told you, or maybe I said it then. I was like, these are the days you got. I sound like such an old man. Like,
No,
these
I
are the days
understand you
worry
can
about.
get burned when it's cloudy. But my weather app let me down saying, it's like a UV index of 3. I'm like, okay, well, then I'm fine. I was not fine. I mean, it wasn't that
Cut
bad.
to Ron Howard.
It's all just tan now. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I only had, I must have got a little bit of a burn on my back, like under my right shoulder blade at one point. Because at one point I was like putting lotion on it or something. And of course it hurts. Oh, yeah, I'm getting shoulder surgery next week. Yay for me.
Oh, next week?
Yeah. And I was like, it's like sometimes, if you don't know you're peeling until it's too late. And you're like, what is that? And you're just like rolling skin up. And it's like, ah! That happened. But yeah, it was great. So it was my family, Sean's family, 2 friends' families. It's perfect. All the kids play together. It's great. That is my happy place so much. Like, I did check my emails a few times, but I turned off notifications, so you can't even see the badge.
I looked at my email. I didn't open a single one, but I just looked at what was coming in. I'm like, there's a couple I saw that I'm like, oh, but I didn't even open a single one.
Yeah, I opened a couple, but I also went like one day. I went like a day and a half, and I was like, holy crap, I haven't checked my email. I really am in a good mood. I should check my email now. So I did, but nothing broke. Everybody survived. Yeah, it's just the best. It is my happy place so much. Speaking of the beach, though, I used to always, weird sequitur, I know. Non sequitur? No, it is a sequitur. I think it's a sequitur. I used to always want to buy physical video games.
Okay.
There's a point. Okay.
You're doing the weave.
So first, what? Bobbin?
Trump. He always says he's doing the weave when he talks about nothing. That's how he explains it. No, I know what I'm doing. I'm just doing the weave. I come back around to it.
I don't listen. I don't know. I am so tuned out. I'm literally writing in Colin Moriarty and Chris Reagan. I'm not even joking. I'll write Chris Maldonado. I'll write his government name, as Ernie would say. Oh, what that reminded me of, thanks for reminding me.
No problem.
Because it looks, from my vantage point, it looks like it looks like it's a spear going through Snake's arm. It reminds me of one of those stupid AI drawings we had drawn, and instead of the fake Kratos holding the blades, they just go through his forearm or something. I loved physical games because I just like collecting stuff. And the first time that I finally started to waver was when Amazon canceled their 20% off pre-order discount.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It was like the last game I pre-ordered was Metroid Prime 4, which was hilarious because this was, I looked it up, August of 2018, I think. I'm like, wow. Okay, we're getting it next year, supposedly. One of my other pet peeves, supposedly, not a word. So once that stopped, I was like, that sucks, but whatever, okay. I still like collecting stuff, except there'd be so many times where I would get a physical game from Amazon and go, I'm like, how hard is this? To just, there's a thing that it clicks into. It's not going to click out of it. You just never clicked it in, Mr. Robot or whatever.
I don't know. I feel like it can come unclicked.
I heard Mystic Ryan, who was doing the podcast with Colin a couple weeks ago, was saying that he's got like a method for when that happens, like because he collects to like, you know, like he'll buy games, never open them and stuff, but if he hears it rattling around, he's like perfected some way to get it in there and like just feel it and then push it in through the.
Does he get a life apart every time?
So that used to annoy me, and then I just think even into the PS5 life cycle, I was still getting some physical games, but it got to the point where I was just like, man, if I want to play a game, I don't want to wait for Amazon to bring it. And I don't want to rely on Target or Walmart or going to GameStop that day and hoping they have it. Because originally I wanted Tears of the Kingdom physical, but I was like, I'm not going to order it from Amazon. It'll get here at like 3 p.m. I've got to play this game first thing. Go to Walmart, sold out. Target doesn't even open till 8, I think. And I was like at Walmart at like 6:15. It was already sold out. I was like, what the hell, people? So I went home, pre-ordered it digital. I'm like, well, I guess I'm doing this. I guess I don't own Tears of the Kingdom. I just have a digital license. And so that was fine. So the beach, Death Stranding 2. So we get to the beach, and I used to bring the NES Mini and the SNES Mini just because I love them, and it's just fun to play that form factor instead of playing Switch Online. It's easier to just bring the Switch and a dock, boom, Pro Controller and the other controller, we're good to go. So Noah Nixon also had his Switch, so they were using 4 Joy-Con. By the way, every Joy-Con I have, stick drift, horrible. And they're like trying to do, they're playing Super Mario Party and stuff, or Jess is playing Nick in Dr. Mario NES on Switch Online, and she's using one of the little things, and she's like, why does the piece keep moving right? I'm not pushing right. I'm like, that's stick drift, hon. Sorry. Anyways, and they're taking the Switch from my place to their place, back to my place. They're playing some games, they're playing them here, blah, blah, blah. And I've got this in my Switch case. I've got like these 2 little blue things that hold 4 games each, these 2 little blue plastic things with the carts. And I'm not paying much attention to it. I fired up Switch Online a couple of times. I don't even remember what I played. Oh, I went looking. I was going to play Street Fighter 2, and it wasn't on there. I was like, I thought Turbo and Special Champion were on this. But I get the libraries of the minis and the Switch Online confused, so I didn't end up doing that. Whatever. Saturday morning, we're getting ready to leave. We're packing up. I did a lot of packing the night before. Oh, we did go to Crab Trap Friday night.
Was that the place that
we tried to go?
The first
place, yeah. That was like you said, it was like a 2-hour, 45-minute wait or something stupid. We had to wait about 45 minutes. It wasn't that bad, but I don't think we went till like 7:30 or something. Did a lot of packing after that and everything. Next morning, I'm of course up at the ass crack of dawn, 5 o'clock, packing, getting everything, cleaning up the kitchen, all the stuff so we can get ready to go. And I go over to get the Switch. I'm going to pack up the dock, grab my Switch, open up the Switch case, and one of my 2 plastic cases containing 4 games, $240, is not there. Hey, Nick, do you know where the other case is? No, I was kind of wondering where that might. I was like, that case. I said, do you remember what games were in it? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, I know it was Ultra Street Fighter 2, yeah, and Smash, yeah, and Mario Maker 2, and I forget what and Mario Kart, I think. I was like, 3 of those are my favorite games on this system.
Yeah.
was like, you better find them. Because otherwise, that's $240 you're going to owe me. He's like, yeah, okay. And just, if I hadn't bought all these stupid games physically, especially Switch physical with these little tiny stupid carts, I never would have that issue because all the games are just in the Switch if you just go digital.
Yeah.
Long story short, I've been fully converted. Like, I don't think I will ever myself purchase another physical game ever. Like, even Switch 2.
I think the last one I did, at least the last one that comes to mind, was Dark Souls 3. Because I wanted it, and it never goes on sale digital, but it was on Amazon for $20. I'm like, yeah, okay. So yeah, that's pretty much the only time I do it now. But new games that like I want right away, digital.
That's
every
true.
time.
If you're looking for games on sale, that's true. It's.
But that's pretty much
physical.
it.
Yeah.
Or if you're asking for like for Christmas,
right? Like,
because can you download this game for me on Christmas?
Send me $60 on PSN, please. So yeah, I like physical games. Oh, anyways. They were at the Nixon's house when they pulled out the couch bed or something. Pop, pop, pop. And they were like, I was like, oh, thank God. I said, because Nick told me, he's like, oh.
He was slapping air. Did you fart?
Slapping here. Did you fart? What did you say?
Did you fart?
No, but what did you say?
Slapping here. Slap an air tag on it. But then I stopped because all of a sudden I smelled a fart.
It was you.
It wasn't me.
So he tells me that other Noah found it at their place. And I go, oh, thank God. He goes, what do you mean, thank God? Thank God me, because I didn't want to buy you 4 games. I was like, well, I would have made you split it with Noah, and maybe even Noah Nixon and just split it 3 ways because, yeah. But, yeah, physical games, I don't like them.
Did they ever even play any of them?
Oh my gosh, they played Super Mario Party like crazy. They got so into Mario
Kart. At both
Kart.
Places?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were bringing the dock because they didn't have their dock, so they would bring my dock over there. Mario Kart, Smash. Nick is now like obsessed with Smash and obsessed with Mario Kart again. He bought some kind of. I got a receipt that he used his card to his debit card to buy some kind of booster pack for Mario Kart. I'm like, how do you just get obsessed with an 8-year-old game? Well, really like an 11-year-old game or something at this point. Now you're just obsessed with it.
Are you guys gonna get Jamboree?
No, I saw
got good reviews.
All I saw was IGN gave it a 9, but I didn't bother to look up Metacritic.
You look at the reviews. Was it Wario? I think Wario is the one that it's like.
Oh, Shinobi usually.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. And it's like boop 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 boop. And it's like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 9 out of 10, and then a 4 out of 10 from like Eurogamer. Like, unless they're like, oh, it's just Mario Party again.
But then why even review it? Why even review it?
But besides that one, like 9s and 10s across the board.
Is this the one? I can't even remember. Is this?
I don't remember.
Like a greatest hits kind of thing with new stuff.
I think it's like the Mario Kart, where they probably bring back old boards.
I think
like,
it's that. Yeah.
It's a new game, but I think there's like retro. I don't know. But,
speaking of physical games, I'll probably buy one of those for my kids for Christmas. Don't watch this podcast.
No, I want to look it up. I bet it's like mid to high 80s would be my guess. Metacritic.
But that's also one of those. The Metacritic shouldn't matter,
right?
Like, is anybody are they like complaining like if it's not 60 frames per second? Like on that, who freaking cares?
82.
Okay, that's still higher than I would have thought. No, that would always just move.
Yeah, I want to see. Oh, Eurogamer. It's the biggest Mario Party game yet, but fails to find the fun at almost every step. I don't know. They gave it a 40, but everything else is like 80, 80, 85, 85, 90, 100. So, I don't know.
Whatever. Couple other things here. I convinced Sean on whatever day it was a couple weeks ago. You should just try to pre-order a PS5 Pro, PS1 themed bundle. And you're like, yeah, what the heck? So the way they ended up doing it was, I was having PTSD to way back when they did the queue. So there was a waiting before the thing went live. You had to go to the website and you would wait in a queue.
I used to think that was pronounced Quayway.
I don't think I even knew. I don't think I ever even tried before I knew it was queue.
I think the first time I saw it was playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, and you had to like create the things where people would line up for the rides, and they called them a queue. And I was like, Quayway?
Also, how do you have 4 vowels in a row?
that are just silent.
Yeah, it's
Just say the first letter.
It's just
ignore
Q.
what comes.
Or QUE. Whatever. Quay. K, I mean. Quay. Barbecue. Anyways, what the hell was I talking? Oh, so you had to wait in a queue and everything. And I was finally like, I just want to get a DualSense. That's all I care about. I've wanted one of these ever since stupid Herman Hulst. Not Herman Hulst. What's his name? Crying Jim got one 3-4 years ago.
It doesn't work when I don't have a controller in my hand.
But I mean, we all
understood.
know. And then I'm waiting in the queue, and it's like, okay, 9 o'clock or whatever it was, local time hits, and it's like, okay, your wait is about 45 minutes. I'm like, I thought the whole point of the queue was that once I'm in there, it's like Black Friday. Just run and see what you can get. So
well, I thought you would go and like get assigned a number. So it's like, okay, and here we go. Your number is 9,427.
I think they did that. You just had no way of knowing what it was.
Okay. So yeah, mine never changed. I'm like, I'm clearly not getting anything, so I dropped. But
so first thing I did once I finally got in, like 9:20, 9:25, or no, it was about 9:15. Only 15 minutes. I get in. I'm like, please be there. Please be there. DualSense, click, add to cart, buy. Yes. Okay, thank God. All right, now let's go back. And it said like, buy now, PS5 Pro bundle. I was like, Jess is going to kill me, but I'm doing this. I don't care. Click. Out of stock, unavailable. I'm like, what? Why are you telling me I could buy it? Unavailable. I'm like, oh no. Did my queue, was I only in the queue to buy, once I buy something, it's like, nah, you're screwed. You can't get anything now. But then I was like, so I check like the portal and the DualSense and everything's in stock. And I'm like, what the hell? Go on Twitter. Everybody's saying, yeah, it's sold out in like 2 seconds.
Jeez.
So, and I also, in the meantime, while I was waiting, Walmart went live early and I got a DualSense from them. So I have 2 pre-ordered. I don't know if I'm going to keep them both.
Didn't this just happen?
No.
Oh, the Astro controller.
I ordered it and they just never sent it until they finally did like a month later and I got it for free.
But don't you have 2 of them now?
Yeah. I only paid for one.
But did
I got
you
one
keep
from
both
Best
of them?
Buy. I got one from Best Buy.
But did you keep both of them?
It's right there. They told me to. They're like, we're sorry.
No, I know, but you were talking about maybe trying to sell it. I'm not saying you should have returned it.
No, I need to. I keep seeing Wario will tweet it randomly like, Astro bots up.
More.
I'm like, I could sell it for $100. It's not worth it. I would rather just have a backup controller. And I don't trust Walmart.
You're going to keep these 2
Both.
controllers.
Yeah, probably. Especially because that one's free. I got 3 for the price of 4. No, I got 4 for the price. That would be a bad deal. 4 for the price of 3. I don't know. Or I could sell it to you at cost if you want one. But you said you didn't really care.
I love my Astro controller, but if this one got announced first, I probably would have just gotten that and said no to Astro.
I would have too.
But I don't need another.
Okay.
I'm good.
My kids are killing my controllers, but yep. So if you somehow, and now they're selling them for like $5. I saw it's one headline said they're going for like as high as £10,000 in Great Britain. I'm like, that was bad. But like, how? Who? It's an invest. If you're paying that much, you can't even play that thing. It has to be an investment, but also,
but did they
you're
confirm
never going to
that
make
they're
that
actually
back.
selling, or they're just listed for that much?
So they're listed for that much, and people have been buying them. But then but eBay has been going in for some of them and canceling them because you're selling something you don't actually have. Like technically, if you're selling something that you've pre-ordered, even if you can prove you pre-ordered it, it's technically against their terms of service because you don't actually you know how to take the reservation. You just might not be holding the reservation.
Right.
So I don't know. I really wanted it. And then I almost, when I was sitting there, I was like, PS5 Pro in the PS1 theme is sitting right there. I'm like, wait, no, it wasn't. The regular PS5 Pro. Not selling out at all. I'm like, I didn't do it, but I thought about it. I'm fine with performance mode.
Yeah, I'd
buy the extra Astro controller. I know, James, but I think I got to be selfish and just keep this for when my kids.
But you can
break
also
one of
just
mine.
get it online, James. They're all over.
Yeah, that's true.
If you really want one, they're out there.
Yeah. Wasn't that X-Files? They're out there.
The truth is out there.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that thing. The truth.
Oh, one other thing before we get into what we've been playing, Sean. I've been talking a lot. Screenshot saved. This is just a PSA, and the only reason I'm doing this is because there's a lot of good games in here. 18 games are leaving PS Plus Extra and Premium in the middle of November. Normally, I don't do this for Xbox Game Pass. I don't do it for PS Plus, but this one, I looked at it, and I was like, oh. These games, even if you've claimed them and they're in your library, these are not like the PS Plus Essentials thing, where as long as you have PS Plus, you can play them forever. Extra and Premium, if they get pulled out of the service, even if you claimed them and you're still with PS Plus Extra or Premium, I don't think you can play them the way I understand it. The way Push Square said it, and they know what they're talking about. So here's some of the games getting delisted. Not delisted, taken out of the service. GTA San Andreas Definitive Edition. I didn't even know it was in there. For some reason, I bought that trilogy. I played Vice City for about 10 minutes. I was like, new controls still suck. This is a really old game. Can't do it. Red Dead 2. Sims 4 City Living. I didn't even know The Sims was in there. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. So that's the remake of, because Dragon's Dogma the first came out on PS3 and 360. Like, it's that old.
Okay.
But then Dark Arisen is like the remake for PS4 and Xbox One. So that's going away. Superliminal is supposed to be good. Ayuden Chronicle Rising, I think people like. Teardown. Do you remember Teardown? That's the one that we saw. When I saw the trailer, I was like, this is amazing. It was almost like...
Isn't that relatively new? Like the last
I think it's like
6 months?
At this point, I think it's like 2 years old.
Really?
But it's the one where it looks like Minecraft, but then you can blow everything up and it's just voxels everywhere and it's just so cool looking. Literally every Kingdom Hearts game is going away. Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 and 2.5 Remix. HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts Melody and Memory. Chorus, which I think is Chorvs. This is the one that got my attention. Well, there's two here. Overcooked 2. It might be fun to do a Let's Play. Oh, no, we did the first one.
I think
we did the first one.
That was the first one?
I think so. Moving Out. Blasphemous. You bought it, so it doesn't matter.
That was the first game I played when I got PS Plus.
Oh, you bought the second one. What Remains of Edith Finch? Now,
I got that platinum. I got both those platinums, so I don't need to go back.
That's what got my attention. I was like, I've had that thing sitting on my PS5 for so long in a folder I created that said Future Platinums. And now when I saw this, I'm like, okay, once I beat what I'm playing right now, I'm going in and doing that. I looked up the trophy guide. It's 2 hours. Basically, you just play through the game, and I think you do. Do you remember?
I think there's one or two things that are maybe not missable, but like annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, it was pretty easy. Yeah.
Also, that game, that was tough enough to play through the first time. I've forgotten most of it except the bathtub. And the
swing.
The fish factory or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that was
the conveyor belt or something. It was going to break me again. But so just a PSA, if you want to play any of those games and you have PS Plus, go play them. Sean.
Yep.
I've been talking a lot. Oh, TV. Did you get it?
TV dead. New TV on the wall.
All good?
It's fantastic. Love it.
You shouldn't say fantastic while doing this.
I mean, it's a lot of money. I was very upset when the first one died, once I found out that it could not come back to life. But then as soon as the new one got here, I'm like, yes, let's open it up, get it up. Like, it's just kind of like a couple iterations newer of what I already had.
And it's 65?
65, yeah.
That's what mine is.
When I was looking up there, I'm like,
I could have
done the 77. Like, it would have been probably the exact width of the fireplace. It wouldn't have looked too big, but maybe the next one. But yeah, I don't know.
What have you been playing?
I've gotten 2 platinums, I think, since...
those two. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Platinum Plucky Squire.
So explain...
Almost had a faux pas. So... Did you talk about on the podcast what happened to you?
Yep.
Okay. I think I
got myself. Also. I think that was after last time. OLED. Yes, he got OLED.
Yes, OLED.
I'm jealous.
I had everything but the Beat It Platinum.
No one wants to beat it, feed it.
And
it's 3-2 now.
Buy all upgrades trophy.
The one that tripped me up.
And I got to the point where I can't remember if I went too far, if I passed the last shop, or if I was just out of enemies to get more stuff. Or maybe both eventually.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what I was playing when my old TV just died. So I was already upset, and then I was real upset. But I was able to eventually find out how you can load or find backup saves.
I don't know what the hell was the problem with us, why we couldn't. I'm like, I know this is here.
Well, we were looking at it on here, and it's right at the bottom. So I'm trying to think if there's graphics,
buttons,
maybe.
Yeah, might have.
But it was right there. Like hit square to go to backup saves, whatever. Anyways, I was able to find one that I could still access the last shop, and there's one room with 10 or so enemies, and I just killed them all except for one. Let it kill me.
And you got to be careful.
You get to keep the what are the bells? What do you get?
Light bulbs.
Rinse and repeat. I eventually got enough to buy the last upgrade. Got it. All good. Also, I got the Astrobot Platinum.
So one of the things I just remembered, because I said it was obvious, like once you get to the final special level, you're like, oh my god, of course they did this.
I didn't even think of it, but once I saw it,
didn't either.
Like,
but I was like,
duh.
yeah, duh, of course. Like
that might have been my favorite one.
It was really cool. My favorite was still the one in the snow. I don't want to say these names just in case you haven't played the game yet.
That may have been my third. I think 5 was my favorite.
4 was the worst.
I think 3 was my second favorite.
Yeah.
And then that one. And then
the first
one, I guess, and then the fourth one. None of it was that bad. Like nothing really tripped me up. I had to go back and hit a lot of levels to get missing bots and puzzle pieces and whatever.
What about the final challenge?
Yes.
Sorry.
It was hard. It was probably harder than the lava square or circle level.
For sure, yeah.
But less annoying. The lava one was just annoying because like I'm doing the little duck thing and then I step on one little pixel of lava because the duck didn't like
you go, bow, 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 and you're dead.
So, yeah. This one wasn't too bad. It was just, and it's the same thing with all of them. Like none of those levels were crazy difficult. But it's like, get this far and die. Get this far, and then a little bit further, and then you die because you don't even know what's going to happen.
Especially in that
and then you get
final
a little bit
stage.
further, and you die because you don't know what's going to happen. So it's like, and then you finally beat it. It took me 20, 30 minutes. Like, it didn't take me that long. I probably died
at least an hour. I think.
I don't think it took me more than a half hour.
But I was also getting so frustrated that I would die like so early.
What's funny is Kira loves watching me play that game, and I'm like, Kira, you better watch this. This is like the hardest level in the game, whatever. So I think her being there kept me sane.
You can't freak out,
right? So I think that probably helped. So yeah, that was kind of tough, but
for me,
not that bad.
When I finally, because I think I don't remember if I had the platinum last time or whatever, but either way, I got one time, I got to the basically to the end, and the last, I'll just say shape, got me. Like I was to the end of the thing,
so I didn't shoot the rockets.
So I didn't think anything else was going to come out, and I jumped out and I could see the boing boing, and I'm like, this is it. This got to be it. And then they come out like at the last second, kill me, and I was like,
that happened to me.
You've got to be kidding me.
When you get to that part where you do each letter, each symbol in a row, the first time I even got to that section, I was just sight reading, just just dodging it. Like I was doing great. I got to the third one. I got to the third one because the first two, it shot, and then I was past it. The second one, shoot, and then I was past. The third one, shoot. I was pretty close, and it shot one more time.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I didn't think it was going to shoot again, and it took probably 10 tries before I got back there again. But I think the next time I did, I beat it.
Well, also the thing I think the thing right before it is all the spinning things. That got me a couple times.
Yeah.
The X, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like I'm jumping on this thing and I'm
I don't think I ever fell off of that, but it scared me every time.
It got me at least 2 times, maybe 3.
The one part that got me more than anything was the second guy spinning the ball and chain.
Yeah.
Because you had to, like, you could see him, but before you got to him, there was something else.
You have to time it perfectly.
Going.
You've got the walking guys with the sparks, and then to the left of him, then you've got the thing doing this with the purple guy shooting at you.
Yeah.
So you also have to take that into account and time the jump to kill him so that you can get out of the way the next one shooting at you, then go over there and kill him, and then go to the Yeah. It was tough, but I mean, it was fun. I don't know if this is controversial. I do still think I like the first game better, but I think that's more of a VR thing. Like, if the first one was not VR, I would almost certainly like this one better. But I think it being in VR and just being able to look around the world and like interact with Astro and like the controller was like part of the game, and you could like in this one, all the things that go on your back. I don't know if it was all of them, but in the first game, a lot of your power-ups were like on your controller. And so like the thing where you can shoot water, you'd really shoot it from your controller. So you could be moving your Astro around while you're like holding your controller on screen and like shooting. There's like the ninja star thing. Yep.
That was in the first one, but again, you shoot them out of your controller. You like flick the touchpad. So it was kind of similar, but like the controller was like a part of the game. I don't know. I'm not holding out hope, but if they did go against what they said and release a VR patch for this, I'll play through the whole game again.
Oh, even if it was a separate SKU, this is one of those times where I wouldn't be like, screw you, Sony. I'd be like, I'll get the platinum again.
Yeah.
To play it in VR, I'd do that. But again, like you said, now hearing how the power-ups worked in that one, I feel like they would have to rebuild it from the ground up.
Yeah, it wouldn't. I mean, you could just make it a VR game. Like, instead of the camera, it's your head. Like, and other than that, it controls the same. It wouldn't be as immersive, maybe, as the first one, but like, you could kind of half-ass it and just say, all right, your head is now the camera, but other than that, it's the same game. It would still be kind of fun, but yeah, I loved it. Both those games will be on my top 10 list at the end of the year. Now I would guess, a few hours away from getting the Vampire Survivors Platinum.
Really?
I'm near the end. I mean, I'm nowhere near the end of the game, but I'm near the end of what you have to do to get the Platinum. I'm basically to the point now where you have to get... you have to complete the collection. And if you look at the collection, every weapon you've got... It's hard to explain if you haven't played it, but there's like weapons you can get, and then there's items you can get. And when you level up a weapon all the way, there's a corresponding item that if you level it up all the way and you have them both on you at the same time, you can then basically merge them and get a better version of your previous weapon. So you have to do that for like every weapon. And so everywhere there's just a black square that doesn't have an item or weapon in it, that's something you're missing from your collection. So
but is it all
go
random?
Online? No.
Okay.
Well,
like when they drop and who they drop from and stuff?
There are certain items that are just out and about in certain levels. You can just go and pick it up. Once you've picked up one of them, it's guaranteed, like, you will get, if you live long enough, you will get enough drop, or it's not really drops. It's every time you level up, you get to pick a new thing.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
So once you get it once, it's guaranteed to show up eventually
point.
As long as you live long enough.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if you need certain items, you can go to certain levels where you know there's one already just sitting on the floor that you can just pick up rather than having to wait for it to come up randomly from a level up. But like, I'll find a square, be like, okay, I don't have that one yet. Then I look online to see what it is that I'm missing, because it doesn't tell you. And then once you see what you're missing, it's like, oh, I guess I never leveled up that weapon. What do I have to pair it with? Oh, I have to pair it with that. Jeez. Oh, wait, I don't have that. How do you unlock that? Well, to unlock that, you have to make it alive 20 minutes with this particular character, or it's that kind of stuff. So,
how many hours have you put into it? Do you know?
I have no idea. I would guess 15-ish.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
Yeah, it hasn't been that crazy. I mean, I'm definitely going to get it at this point.
Dustin got the platinum. Not Dustin Downs. Dustin Furman got the platinum. I think I remember him saying there was something... maybe like something with a portal or something was confusing and he had to look up what to do with it or something. There was a couple things that were just like he just couldn't figure out.
There are, I mean, I had to also. There's some stuff that's like, if you don't, you would maybe stumble across them eventually, but like, yeah, I just looked up a guide for the most part. Nothing's missable, but yeah, I'll finish that up. Then I'll probably move on to Castlevania, and then I'll see about Silent Hills 2, maybe.
Not
Silent
Hills.
Hill.
Don't bring it up.
2.
10 years.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Before I get into the Castlevania of it all, I did finally play because Sean told me, and I knew this.
Oh yeah, and I played this too.
Balatro is out on Apple Arcade. Well, you looked at me funny.
No, I
And so I downloaded it sometime in the last few weeks. And I told Sean at first, I was like, I don't really get it. I don't see what the big deal is with this game. Not that I don't get it, but I know how to play the game. I know poker hands. I get it that I've got to beat this score. These hands get you these points, but I'm like, I don't understand how to play the game. Time to play the game is probably what you're thinking. And I was thinking, that was the other thing in the documentary. He stole the. He didn't say he stole it, but at one point when they were talking to Triple H, there was somebody that he was saying that he grew up watching, or somebody he went back and watched tape of back in like the 50s or 60s, and they show him guy I'd never heard of before. So I thought that was interesting. Anyways, I think I've finally gotten the hang of it. I've still only done like 4 runs or something, and I like it. Like, I was like, okay, so I get this money every time I win a hand, and then I can use the money to buy a card if I like it, and then that can maybe give me multipliers or like an extra hand or an extra discard or something. And then you've got these others that might be one use cards and blah blah blah. But I'm like, how do I level anything up? What I finally figured out as I'm going along, you can actually level up stuff. You can level up your poker hands. So like you can level up your 3 of a kind. It's no longer 10 points times whatever the face value is, whatever. It's now going to be 15 points times the face value or whatever. So I finally figured that out. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Oh, I'm supposed to buy these cards and I need to buy the cards. Really, it's like trying to balance buying these Joker cards that either I want because they're really good, but if they're really good and I've already had them, you got to balance it with like, well, you only unlock other stuff by like discovering so many different cards and Joker cards and stuff. I haven't played it a whole lot. I probably played it for like a total of an hour.
Have you played it at all on PS5?
No, I do want.
I just don't. It seems like it was made for touchscreen. I wouldn't want to be like,
just going click this over there.
Yeah, but I'm curious what the platinum's like.
Yeah, it's tough from what I looked up. So that's fine. But the big thing I've been playing, I think the last time we podcasted, I said I had stopped playing it because I was just nonstop into Astro. But the Castlevania Dominus Collection, I don't remember where I left off. I'm pretty sure that I said last time that Dawn of Sorrow, I had gotten like near the end, but I didn't beat it. I ended up beating it. Good game. Not much else I can say. If you played Aria of Sorrow, it's a lot like that. It's fusing weapons. I didn't really like that mechanic so much. It's Soma again. That was fine. The story was cool. Multiple endings and everything. And then I went and I beat that. I was like, okay, that was fun. Now I want to play Portrait of Ruin. And Portrait of Ruin, if you've listened to our bonus episode, if you're a patron, I still feel this way. I don't think it's Prisoner of the Moment. It is my second favorite Metroidvania I have ever played. Portrait of Ruin is so friggin' good. And at first I was like, I don't know about this, because I remember on one of the podcasts I said, I know one of these games has you like being able to switch characters, and there's some puzzle solving elements with that. I'm like, oh God, this is going to suck. Is this going to be an escort mission? Whatever. So you play as Jonathan Morris. If you've played Bloodlines, that name should sound familiar. He is the son of John Morris. I will just come out and say this. That doesn't give anything away. This game is essentially a Bloodline sequel. And there is stuff that happens with the story in this one that is so cool. And there's characters you meet. There's just so many cool things about this. I love the combat. I love that you're just finding weapons now. I love that the switching characters I was really worried about. It's perfectly fine. The puzzle solving you have to do is like the hardest thing you have to do with two characters is
move a character over here to stand on a switch while this guy grabs this thing or something.
There's that, but that's what I'm saying. The hardest one you have to do, though, is there's this one point really late in the game. I guess it's a spoiler, but not really. But it's like there's a like motorcycle up top and a motorcycle down bottom. And what you have to do is one of your powers is to, and when you've got the two characters, you can either you can play as just Jonathan, or you can just be Charlotte, I think her name is, or you can be Jonathan with an AI Charlotte, or you can be Charlotte with an AI Jonathan. When they're both out there, that's when you can be like, you get an upgrade like down in circle or something that says like, okay, you stay here. And you can use
You're
that
doing
in
the
boss
same thing
fights.
that I thought was so funny that your kids do, where instead of just saying like, oh, it's the computer, it's the AI. And now you're saying it's like you have an AI companion instead of it just being.
That's pretty bad.
But anyways.
Yeah, I don't like that, Raymond. But like, so there's a motorcycle up here and a motorcycle down here. And you have to have one on one and one on the other. And when they're both on the screen, you can push triangle to switch which one you're controlling. So what happens in this one puzzle, once they're both standing on it, they both go. And I was like, the first time I was like, I don't know what to do here. And then all of a sudden, Jonathan just gets knocked off. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I go back, go out, come back in, you restart it. And basically you have to switch back and forth because sometimes the motorcycle up top, that character's going to have to duck. The only way that character ducks is if you're controlling them. So you duck, and then you go back to the other character. It's like, okay, now you need to jump over this obstacle. Okay, now you need to slide under this thing. Now switch back to the other one. I really, once I knew what it was, it only took me like 2 or 3 tries.
Yeah.
That's as complicated as it gets. Pixel art's beautiful. Music's amazing. Story is great. The one thing that's different about this, so it does take place in Dracula's castle. However, it's called Portrait of Ruin because you go into these portraits.
That are ruined?
Yes. And I won't spoil what it is with the story because there's somebody else that's a big bad in this. You know, they're all, oh, gotta resurrect Dracula, blah, blah, blah. But there's another antagonist and there's multiple antagonists and stuff. But you go into these paintings and it takes you like to a whole new quote unquote biome, like a desert with pyramids. Or you go to this crazy ass carnival thing that I don't even want to spoil because when you go through it for the first time, you're just like, holy shit, this is so cool. You beat the bosses in those portraits. That takes away from the big bad boss's power.
Is it less of a... That makes it sound less Metroidvania. I mean, is it still wide open and you're backtracking and you got to figure out where to go?
Each of those areas is another Metroidvania. And each of those areas, once you get powers from other areas, you can get further in the castle. You can also go back to other stages to get to places to unlock certain things or to pick up certain items and stuff.
Yeah, then it kind of sounds like Metroid Fusion, which I don't think you've played yet.
No.
But it's kind of like you've got a hub and then you've got all these different biomes.
Well, you want to talk about hub and spoke. I'll get to that in a second. But final boss fight in this, freaking insane. It's at one point you're fighting 2 bosses and I never saw it coming and I was like, oh, this isn't fair. And I died multiple times. It's just fantastic. I love this game so much. So I was like, okay, I beat that. I got both endings. Cool. Now I'm on to Order of Ecclesia. I am liking, I think when we did the bonus episode, I was like, I don't really know about this. So Order of Ecclesia, you play as Shanoa, like my Sharona. And this is like the Belmonts have disappeared. So there's this Order of Ecclesia, hence the name, that has like, they're trying to do whatever they can to prevent Dracula from being revived because the Belmonts are gone. Somebody's got to do it. Nobody can use the vampire killer, all this stuff. Story takes twists and turns and everything, but you know, this guy turns out to be bad. And then you think this one guy who is bad doesn't. The thing I was worried about was this glyph system, which is really the same as Bloodstained, whereas you kill enemies and sometimes they drop spells you can use or regular weapons you can use. And all your weapons are glyphs. And it's like I was telling Sean, if you played Time Spinner, in Time Spinner you basically you can wield 2 orbs at the same time. One might be a hammer, another's a sword. And you can do like square, triangle. But you can't just kill people because the timing of each weapon is different based on the type of weapon. So if you want to do combos, you got to learn what the timing is, which was really annoying at first. I ended up liking it. The other thing that's weird in this, so they brought back hearts for the first time in Castlevania for a long time. And so you've got your HP, but then you've got MP and you've got hearts. MP in this is kind of weird because it is... Really, it's a stamina bar. So your MP is used for your attacks. Now, It's not so bad that like you attack 3 times and you're out of MP. But it does make you think more, because there's some boss fights where I'm like, okay, I've got an opening, pop, 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 pop. And then I'm like, pop, pop. And I'm getting killed, of course, while this is happening. So you got to balance that. The hearts are used for your special moves, like your up and attack. You do glyph unions, which are based on the 2 weapons you're using. There are certain combinations that do certain special moves. Like if you use 2 of the regular swords, you do a big sword. If you do the 2 hammers, big hammer. But you can also use like a sword and a hammer, and then it does a different thing. Or it might just not do anything. So that's cool. But like you were saying with Portrait of Ruin, is it really a Metroidvania? This is the one that is like, I guess it's a Metroidvania, but this is not really hub and spoke. This is, you get to every area via an overworld map. You start at Ecclesia, story stuff happens, then you can go to this village. You go from the village, it opens up the woods. You go from the and then you teleport there and you're in. And some of these stages are just a straight line all the way over, and then you exit the woods. That unlocks the next thing. Not my favorite, but in the end, you do eventually get Dracula's castle, and that's when I started. And you spend a lot of time there, and probably like the last 2 hours I've been playing have been in Dracula's castle. I'm like, now this is starting to get good. I mean, and it was good before then. It was just so different that I do still think Portrait of Ruin is better, but the longer I've played Ecclesia, the more I've gotten into it. Really good game. Not as good as Portrait of Ruin, I don't think.
What about Sorrow?
Sorrow is so... Sorrow is cool too. The story of Sorrow is good. The whole weapon fusing stuff I didn't like. I almost think I might like... From a standard Metroidvania, Dawn of Sorrow is better. I think I actually like Order of Ecclesia a little bit better because of the glyph system for the weapons and how you can do the combinations. And each, like, you can get the regular sword, and then eventually you'll find a level 2 sword and then a level 3 sword. I just did not like Dawn of Sorrow. The only thing I didn't like about it was the whole weapon fusing thing. Like, if you're not getting the right souls to give to the lady, then you can't fuse the weapons you want to make. But I am to the point now in Order of Ecclesia, I am right before the final boss. I didn't have time to beat it before this, but I'm going to do that tomorrow. Then I am getting the platinum in this damn thing.
Really?
So basically...
Do you have to go back and like...
Yes.
Do you have to go all the way back to Sorrow and do stuff there and then...
Yes. So what you have to do is each game, when you get either the bad or the good ending, it unlocks a separate mode where you play as a new character, one of the other characters that's in the story. And you just have to get the platinum in each game, you have to beat every boss and then beat the extra mode. That's it. So by the time I beat Order of Ecclesia, all I'm missing now, because I looked at the trophies, is the final boss, who is obvious. I mean, I got to beat the final boss. That's that. And then I got to play through the extra modes in all 3 and go from there. Not go from there. Then it's done. I win.
Wait, so do you have to get every ending in every game?
To fight every boss, you have to get every ending. The
every ending, or is it just get the best ending?
No, you have to get... Oh, yeah, I guess it is just the best ending.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I think it is just the best ending.
Are they missable?
No, because even the one that I was scared of the most was Portrait of Ruin. But even after I got the bad ending, I was like, oh no. Go back to the save room right outside the boss room. You start before the fight. So I'm like, okay, thank God. Okay, now I got to look up what I was supposed to do in this fight. Oh, that makes sense. Oh my God, it just unlocked a whole 4 more portraits. This is freaking awesome. I thought it was almost at the end. I got more fun stuff to do. So I'm going to get the platinum. I can't wait. And then after that, I don't know, do I go WWE 2K24 and get sucked into that?
I think you should try it.
I'm going to try it, but I have to do... I really think I need to go, now that I know it's going away, Edith Finch. Just get that platinum, knock that out in one night or 2 nights, and be done with it, and then go to something else. We're not playing Echoes of Wisdom. We're not yet playing, as Sean said, Silent Hill 2 Remake. Ooh, good. I'm on the fence. I'm surprised that I'm on the fence about Silent Hill 2, because it's like an 86, 87 on Metacritic. And I'm like, that's really all I wanted to see, is that it was going to review good. I don't know if it's just because I'm so... I know. I know. Don't eat, Grandma. Don't eat, Grandma. I don't know if it's just that I'm so into Castlevania right now, I can't even think about it. Like, I put 36 hours into Castlevania. This is going to be a 50-hour platinum. What? What did I say? What did I say?
I mean, I know what you're getting at. I think it's more, usually you say, let's eat.
Let's eat, Grandma.
Yeah, or let's eat, Grandma, or let's eat, Grandma.
That's what I said.
No, you said, don't eat, Grandma.
Oh. Don't eat, Grandma.
Poor Grandma. Why can't she eat? Anyway.
So yeah, I don't know. So you're on the fence too?
I am. I've never played a Silent Hill game.
I haven't either.
I've always been more team Resident Evil. I think Silent Hill is much more survival horror. Like, the way I understand it, I don't know if this is all of them or just the first one or what, but like, you might get, I don't know, 10 to 20 bullets in the game, and every bad guy that you want to kill might take 3 or 4 bullets. Like, you basically don't kill many enemies unless you absolutely have to. Like, it's more just run away from things, and I'm like, I'm sure they're terrifying, but like, I mean, it's universally loved from what I see,
and it seems like a lot of people, I'm especially counting media in this, went into this like, I don't know, now after the last few trailers and gameplay and stuff, it seems like public sentiment was starting to turn, like maybe they didn't screw this up.
Yeah.
The other thing I will say, it makes sense that I'm going to say this, but it also doesn't. It gives me even more hope for Delta, that it seems like from everything they've said, like they're putting so much love and care into that game that they're going to do it right.
Yeah. But
now the fact that they did Silent Hill 2 was done right, I'm like, man, I think we're going to get it.
This year?
I don't know. No. We got through Tokyo Game Show without a release date. It's not coming this year.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm like, that's fine. Next year's going to be ridiculous either way. Whatever. It's going to be crazy that my favorite game of all time is getting a remake next year, and Death Stranding 2 is also coming out.
And Silksong.
Yeah, in 2026, you mean. It's been an hour so far, but we got a couple quick news items to get through. Sean, do you want to get to the news of the week?
Sure.
So, just a couple quick things here. 343, this comes from Microsoft, as told by VGC. 343 Studios is now Halo Studios. Halo developer 343 Industries has rebranded as Halo Studios and announced that it's working on multiple Halo games developed within Unreal Engine 5. The news was shared during Sunday's Halo World Championship Tournament, in which it debuted a video showing a technical test of various Halo-themed locations running within Unreal 5. The studio stressed that the footage shown is not from a game, but a glimpse of what is able to be achieved with Unreal Engine 5. A game engine is a framework used... blah, blah, blah. Halo Infinite was developed using 343's own Slip Space engine, which was partly blamed for the game's last-minute, year-long delay and sluggish rollout of post-release content. I have almost forgotten that game was not a launch game. They launched the series without Halo.
Remember Craig?
Poor Craig. During Sunday's announcements, Halo Studios head Pierre Hincy suggested that the switch to Unreal will help to solve some of those issues. Quote, "We believe that the consumption habits of gamers have changed. The expectations of how fast their content is available," he said. "On Halo Infinite, we were developing a tech stack that was supposed to set us up for the future in games at the same time." Art director Chris Matthews added, "Respectfully, some components of Slip Space are almost 25 years old."
Wow.
That was PS1. 25 years ago, Xbox wasn't even a thing. That's wild.
Yeah.
Although 343 were developing it continuously, there are aspects of Unreal that Epic has been developing for some time, which are unavailable to us in Slip Space, and would have taken huge amounts of time and resources to try and replicate. One of the primary things we're interested in is growing and expanding our world, so players have more to interact with and more to experience. Nanite and Lumen, which is Unreal's rendering and lighting technologies, offer us an opportunity to do that in a way that the industry hasn't seen before. As artists, it's incredibly exciting to do that work. Halo Studios also hopes that switching to Unreal will enable it to more easily recruit new developers and get them up to speed faster. Alongside the engine change, the rebranded studio claims it's making changes to its culture, workflow, and how its teams are organized. That includes involving the community in discussions earlier in development, it said. I don't know that sounds like a good thing. That can also be a really bad thing.
Yeah.
One of the few things I really wanted to get away from, Hincy said, was the continued teasing out of possibilities and must-haves. We should do more and say less. Say less. For me, I really think it is important that we continue the posture which we have right now when it comes to our franchise, the level of humility, the level of servitude towards Halo fans. We should talk about things when we have things to talk about at scale. Today, it's the first step. We're showing Foundry because it feels right to do so. We want to explain our plans to Halo fans and attract new, passionate developers to our team. The next step will be talking about the games themselves. Since Halo's release in 2021, 343 saw several high-profile departures, including longtime franchise director Frank O'Connor, series veteran Joseph Staten, multiplayer creative director Tom French, director of engineering David Berger, studio head Bonnie Ross, and more. It was also affected by layoffs across Microsoft's gaming division. Separate from this, they did also announce that Halo Infinite next month is getting a friggin' third-person mode. And just looking at the screenshot I saw of this, I'm like, that is so weird to just see Chief. Now, I've only played Halo 1. So obviously I haven't played any of the spin-offs like ODST. Halo Wars I know it's RTS, whatever. But I don't know if you've ever been able to do third person in Halo. I'm going to guess not.
I don't think so.
Halo Studios. And then moved to Unreal 5. Sean, are you excited for the future of Halo Studios? Do you think Konami
I think it's the right
should
move.
rename themselves to Metal Gear Studios?
I do not. Halo, I don't think I care. I think it's a good move. But I don't care. I think we will eventually see Halo on PlayStation, which is just strange. But even then, I don't know. Halo at least seems like, and I've only played the first two, and even that was very minimal. I feel like they both got or had solid single player campaigns.
But that was Bungie. That wasn't 343.
That's true. But I don't know that I care. If there's an announcement tomorrow that Halo is coming to PlayStation,
I'm buying it. Just for
I would just be like,
the pure what the fuck of it all. Like, we're playing Halo on PlayStation. It's like when you first played Sonic on Xbox, or I mean, not on Xbox, on GameCube or on Game Boy Advance. It's like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
I do think that I just thought of this. So there's been rumors, of course, of Halo coming to PlayStation, but also there's been rumors that were saying Halo Combat Evolved might not just be getting a remaster, or they might not just release the Master Collection or the Master Chief Collection on whatchamacallit, PlayStation. There's rumors that Combat Evolved is getting a full-blown remake. Now we find out this stuff about Unreal 5. maybe that's it. Maybe they are remaking. Now, it would be, I think it would be smart business by Xbox. I hope they don't do this, but to just say, you know what, we're going to remake all 5 games, or maybe the first 3, and put them on PlayStation. They're all $60 or $70 instead of the Master Chief Collection for $60. Smart bit, because people on PlayStation will buy all of them, period.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what they're doing or not, but it should be interesting.
I don't know. PlayStation doesn't really get into the business of remakes.
No, not at all. No. Last of Us Part 1 is a brand new game. NPD results are finally in for August as we sit here in October. The only good thing about this, 2 weeks from now, we're getting September's results. So that's good. Now we're getting back on track.
Yeah.
Software sales for August. And I don't know if y'all care about this. I just always like to go over it because I like numbers. Number 1, speaking of numbers, is Madden 25. Debuts at number 1. Number 2, College Football 25. 3, Star Wars Outlaws. Now, of course,
shocking.
this is only in the U.S., but apparently Ubisoft, and we'll talk about Ubisoft a little bit later, they were very disappointed in this game. It did pretty damn good in the U.S. Number 4 is the EA Sports MVP bundle. Remember, that bundles Madden and college football together. Number 5, Elden Ring. 2 years after release. Number 6, Hogwarts Legacy. A year after release, I think. A year and a half.
Going on 2.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it was a February game last year.
I thought it was like January.
Wow, that's a lot different than February.
It came out January 20th. Wow, I thought it was January 19th.
I thought it was February 1st. Hogwarts Legacy. Number 7, Minecraft. That's weird to me, but I have a theory. 8, Modern Warfare 3. 9, Spider-Man 2. 10, Visions of Mana did debut it in the top 10. That's really cool. It's almost like it would be crazy to shut that studio down the day the game comes out. Idiots. I almost wonder if Minecraft, because this is based not on total copies sold, this is based on dollars sold. Minecraft is, I don't even know, $10, $15, $20 game on PlayStation. I wonder if because the last couple months, like June and July, because of Erdtree and then College Football 25, a lot of people were buying consoles for the first time, or buying PS5s and Xbox Series. I almost wonder if getting those new consoles, it's like, well, and these people have kids. Like, the people that want to play College Football 25 are probably the people like me that miss it.
Right.
Along with younger people, too. But if they're older people like me, they probably have kids. Kids like Minecraft, so they're also buying Minecraft.
Makes sense.
Year-to-date software. College Football 25 is still number 1. Helldivers 2 is number 2. Modern Warfare 3 is 3. It happened again. I like that. Number 4 is the EA Sports Bundle. Number 5 is Elden Ring. 2+ years after release. That's crazy. Number 6, Dragon's Dogma 2. Again, I don't know how this game is in the top 10 because I have not talked about it being in the top 10 for a month since March when it came out. Maybe April, but it's super weird.
It came out that long ago?
Yeah. Number 7, MLB The Show 24. Number 8, WWE 2K24. Number 9, this makes me sad, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. And then 10, Hogwarts Legacy. Rebirth should be higher. I mean, it would be if it was out on more than one console.
Well, yeah.
This is now 25 years in a row that the month I just bought Hogwarts Legacy. There you go. Good job, James. You didn't boycott it. You are a horrible person, by the way. So are the other 25 million people that bought this game. 25 years in a row, the month that Madden came out, it has been number 1 that month. 25 years in a row. The first game to start this was in 2000, which was Madden 2001. Do you remember who the cover athlete was there?
Vic?
That was 2004.
Yeah.
2001 was...
The Seahawks guy? Sean?
Seahawks a guy. No, but there is a 7 in this guy's number, but not 37.
7.
You're going to go, oh my God. Oh, and there's a 7 in Vic also.
Who's the Seahawks guy? Sean
Alexander. SHAUN.
Yeah. I kept thinking Sean Matthews, but that's somebody I work with. 2000.
This is going to tell you how long ago this was.
Oh, Elway?
Nope. He was retired. He retired.
Oh, he retired in 98.
Yeah, after they beat the Falcons.
I got nothing.
Eddie George.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. That's how long it's been.
Jeez.
Hardware spending was down 30%, 36% year over year on, and all platforms dropped by at least 34%. PS5, the worst was, I didn't write it down here, but I just remembered. Switch was the worst at 41% drop year over year. PS5 was number 1 in units sold and dollars sold. Xbox Series was number 2 in units and dollars sold. It's been that way for a few months. They've officially overtaken the Switch as people wait for the Switch 2 to be announced. Yes, Sean.
Nothing about this.
Oh, great.
Did you watch Penguin?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither.
But I did see Angry Joe put up a video saying this is the best show on TV. Like,
Really?
I've heard nothing but good things about it, but because I've missed, I don't even know, 4 episodes, 5?
Something like that.
I can't remember when we did the joke the first time, but once it's all out, I'm just going to binge it over a few days.
Is it like 10 or 8?
I think it's 8.
8 episodes. I'll check it out, yeah.
Can you just watch Nocturne, please?
Oh, crap. Yeah, I didn't watch that at all during the beach.
During the beach.
During the beach trip.
On the beach. Sean, now it is time for the wrap up. First item here, this one's a doozy. As I believe it was Derek mentioned in our Discord, Nintendo knows we've all been waiting for an announcement about new hardware. And they said, fuck you, here's a clock.
I saw this a lot on
This thing is $100.
Twitter, but I never looked into it. Is it literally just an alarm clock that
Yes.
has like Nintendo music and sound effects
And like animated, and like it's got like an LCD screen that'll play like Mario going wah and jumping, and then Peach is like, oh no,
like
and
it's
they're going to be
kind of
updating
cool,
it. It's cool. It's
but not for $100. Yeah, $30, $40
yeah.
maybe. But
$50 is the most.
yeah, like more than a game. I mean, I know it's got actual hardware, so it's not comparable. But like $100. I mean, that's the most Nintendo thing ever.
But they're charging $100 for this thing. Yes, it's more complex in there, I guess, than a video game cart. But these video game carts take 3 or 4 years to make, with hundreds of people working on them. Some of them for tens of millions of dollars. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. It's a friggin' clock, $100. Although I will say this, as annoying as this is, this makes me think they would have to be super ballsy to do this and not have the Switch 2 announcement coming up pretty soon.
I think it'll be next month.
I think it's next month for sure. Next up, Xbox's Tokyo Game Show had some announcements. Those include the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters are finally out on Xbox. That's good. They're out now. They were out then. Legends of Mana. Mana. It's Mana, right? I think we've talked about this 100 times.
I always say mana, but I think at least in these games it's
They say
mana.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's every time you see that word or just for these titles.
Trials of Mana and We Love Katamari Reroll are out on Game Pass now. StarCraft Remastered and StarCraft 2 are out on PC Game Pass on my birthday, November 5th, and a bunch of other Japanese stuff got announced. I don't think I knew if I did, I forgot that StarCraft got remastered at some point.
If it's what I'm thinking, it's just like, I mean, remastered is
Pushing it.
kind of a stretch. It's like, hey, it's widescreen now, probably 60 FPS, and slightly, I mean, it's all the same graphics, maybe just like a little bit higher resolution. But
What was
yeah.
StarCraft? Was that like 96, 7? Something like that?
I think 98,
Wow.
maybe.
If you'll remember, there was Metal Gear Solid Delta was going to be playable at Tokyo Game Show. A lot of people played it. A lot of people loved it. And oh my God, I just cannot wait for this. But we did get some news coming out of their hotline broadcast thing that they did, as well as people just finding out stuff from being there and talking to people. Some of those things include the HUD elements can be repositioned. So that was one of the repositions. I know that was not a word. But like right now, the health, when they've shown the screenshots, it's like the health is at the bottom. And I'm like, well, that's weird, but who cares? Whatever. You can move that back to the top left like it used to be in the original game, and you can move stuff around. I don't think it's that big a deal either way, but whatever. They did confirm it's going to have photo mode from the jump. They show like Snake, posing with the calorie mate thing. It just, I love it. This one's interesting. So you've got the new camera style, which is basically Metal Gear Solid 5, and then you've got the legacy camera, which is basically the fixed top-down-ish original Metal Gear Solid 3 camera. I don't know if you can move it around like you could in Subsistence with the right stick, but you cannot switch the camera angles on the fly. And the reason for that is the difficulty is different on each camera style. Basically, if you just played...
Like gameplay elements are different between them?
Like the AI, the computer, is different in them. Because basically, playing from that top-down view, you can only see so much. So you can't make it too hard. Because it wouldn't be fun because you can only see so much. Also, if you were to take that gameplay, though, and move it to the new camera style...
That'd be too easy.
It's too easy. So they said that's why. Now, I don't think you pick one for the whole playthrough of a game and you're stuck with that.
Probably just reloads the section or something.
Also, I'm not playing it on the old style.
I don't know why you would.
A lot of people are like, oh, that's how it was made originally. I'm going to play that. Okay, I'm not. But like I said earlier, we didn't get a release date like I was hoping. It's going to be next year, whatever. Also, David Hayter is tweeting, and he's tweeting like, back in the voice booth. And he's like, #Delta. And I'm like, what is happening? And then he retweeted an old tweet from the guy, I can't remember his name, that does the voice of Zero, like saying we're all in and everything. He's like, yeah, absolutely, Colonel, or whatever. Major. As faithful as they're being to the original game, I don't think this is going to be new story stuff. I just wonder if there's going to be some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of theater mode or something where he's talking to you as Snake, or like a background on the boss or something. I have no idea what it could be, but also if he's teasing that he's recording stuff, if it's actually going to be in the game, it's another reason it ain't coming out this year, whatever that stuff is.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Death Stranding, we got some updates from Tokyo Game Show as well. Remember, they were going to have a panel. We got new footage, and we got some names. Some of these are old, some of these are new. And they go like this. George Miller is playing Tarman. Fragile returns, Leah Seydoux. Doll Man is the name of the guy who has the doll.
He's a genius.
Rainy is the Asian girl's name. Rainy, like it's raining outside. Elle Fanning is named Tomorrow. And Heartman is back. Now remember, this is the game that the first game, Sam Porter Bridges, he's a porter who works for Bridges and he carries packages like he's a porter. Fragile has reasons they call her Fragile because her skin is old and stuff. Like Heartman has a heart condition. Dead Man is basically a Frankenstein. Like, so Tarman, he came from the tar, I'm guessing. Tomorrow, maybe she can see the future. Rainy, she can control the weather like Storm. Doll Man, he's got a doll. Like, I don't know. Kojima did say that the release date has been decided on, but he's not ready to reveal that yet. Interesting. That makes me think that it's not going to miss next year at least. Unless that release date is November of 2026.
Like, if you have a release date, why wouldn't you just say it? Unless you don't feel that great about it. You're like, man, I think it's going to release
and if
here.
If that's the case, then you don't have a release date.
Exactly, yeah.
They did also show a crazy demonstration of the photo mode. Of course, Kojima would do this in his game where you've got like the 3 female characters. And it's not just like they're doing poses in photo mode, but they're like moving.
That is so cool.
It
seems
cool,
overkill, but
super
like
weird. Like,
oh yeah, I wasn't even sure what I was looking at first.
Is this them?
Like, yeah, it is very cool, but
then there was also a boy, what's it called, K-pop performance for some reason, and they said that is in the game. I trust Kojima. I feel like this game is going to be even more batshit crazy than the last one was, and I love the last one. Reports are going around that Guerrilla's next game may actually be a live service Horizon game, with Horizon 3, quote, might be a few ways off. Did you change that?
No, you just didn't read what's there.
Might be did I say few? A few ways.
Not just one way off, a few ways off.
It might be a ways off. If their next game is a friggin' live service, what are we doing? You've got to learn from Concord. Also, did you see Concord's being updated in the back end of Steam? So people are thinking they're actually going to try to relaunch it as a free-to-play. That game has so much stink on it right now, you should just
let it die.
Castlevania designer Shotaro Ida has stepped away from Bloodstained 2 after he's diagnosed with cancer. That was weird to say it like that, but I only put this in here because Bloodstained 2 is happening.
That's awesome.
He's been working on the game with Iga. Now, I don't know how far along it is, but, I think they finally, like, Shovel Knight, gotten through all the backer stuff. We talked about this a little bit on the bonus episode, but I'm sad that he has cancer. I'm happy Bloodstained 2 is actually happening. I mean, we assumed it was going to, but now we know it's happening. I can't wait. It's probably 5 years away. Ass Creed Shadows has been delayed to Valentine's Day. That would be February 14th, 2025. Basically, it got delayed because Outlaws was so bad, and they're like, we got to polish this up and make it. Ubisoft is not doing great. There's reports that Yves Guillemot and NetEase they might try to just take it private, get to 51% of the shares, take it private, fix everything, relaunch as public. I'm like, I don't know, man. Also, there will be no more Season Pass. That's cool. It is going to be releasing on Steam day one. So no more that you have to buy games on PC via Ubisoft Connect. So that's good. Star Wars Outlaws is coming to Steam on November 21st. Sea of Stars. They announced more DLC. There's a free DLC called Dawn of Equinox coming out next month. This will include local co-op, revamped combat, an overhauled prologue with more action and a new cutscene, difficulty options you can select via the relics you can use in the game, and more stuff. I mean,
there was already that kind of.
Yes, but they're doing more options.
Yeah.
The thing they said about the prologue, because I read the actual notes, and I think it said something like they got feedback over the last year and a half or whatever it's been that like people want the prologue stuff is really just you're just walking around as the young characters and stuff that people want to actually play as them. So they were like, okay, we'll just add that for free and we'll just redo the beginning.
Good for them.
I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see whatever they make next. Tango Gameworks, it has come out that they were working on some anniversary content for The Evil Within, and they had done 6 months of work for a build of Hi-Fi Rush 2 before Microsoft shut them down. Now, Tango Gameworks is able to, and what's the company that bought them? Striking Distance or whatever. They've got the rights to Hi-Fi Rush. I don't know if this 6-month build was able to come with them. I don't know if Microsoft just clicked delete after they shut the studio down before Tango bought them. They're not keeping Evil Within, though, so that's probably never going to see the light of day. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero sold 3 million copies in its first 24 hours. What the hell? Street Fighter 6
People love their anime.
Street Fighter 6 has sold 4 million in almost 2 years. That was January of last year, I think.
Wow.
I didn't even know this was a fighting game until Chris was talking about it on Sacred Symbols. I assumed it was like an RPG or something.
Judge hit a home run. Holy crap.
Wow, he woke up.
2 runs.
Metaphor ReFantasio sold 1 million copies in its first 24 hours. That's crazy.
Yeah.
People are saying this game's awesome.
That's what I wanted to talk to Chris about.
Okay.
I'm like, I've never been interested in Persona. And I don't think I have any reason to be interested in this. But it also just kind of looks fun. But like,
yeah,
I need somebody to sell me on it. Because I don't think I'm going to get it.
Oh, there is a demo, though.
Oh, really?
Yep. They put out a demo before the release. So you might just want to screw around with that for a night.
Yeah, I might check it out.
Speaking of sales, Black Myth Wukong has now hit 20 million sold. Well, it hit 20 million sold in its first month on the market. What's
China?
Weird? It's China because we just talked about year-to-date sales in the U.S. I think it came out in August. It didn't make the top 10.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Terry Bogard has already come to Street Fighter 6. Now it was announced that Ken and Chun-Li are coming to Fatal Fury City of the Wolves as part of their Season 1 DLC. It's like I can picture Fatal Fury characters coming into Street Fighter more than I can picture Street Fighter characters going into Fatal Fury. It's going to look awesome because that art is just, it's awesome. I'm sure you're happy that it's Ken
it's
going
weird
first
that, like,
instead of
there's
Ryu.
no Ryu,
or
but
Ryu.
Maybe you want to save it. I don't know.
Tetris Forever got a release date. It's out November 12th. It will include, quote-unquote, an accurate recreation of the original game on the Electronica 60 PC. Never heard of that before. The 1988 Famicom version, Tetris 2 plus Bomb Bliss, Tetris Battle Gaiden, Hatris, Super Bomb Bliss, Super Bomb Bliss DX, Super Tetris 2 plus Bomb Bliss, and Super Tetris 3. I cannot believe this, but they talked about it on GameScoop also. We're not getting the NES version of Tetris or the Game Boy version. The Game Boy version is one of the most important video games ever made. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
I know it's Tetris. I know. It's just weird.
It is strange, but I think we really only need one version of Tetris.
Yeah, I don't know how different the Famicom version is from the NES, but yeah. Ooh, it's a long demo too. There you go.
Okay.
Alien Isolation, it was announced it's getting a sequel 10 years after the game was initially released. I never played it. People are happy. It is early in development, so congratulations playing it on the PS6. Tomb Raider 4 through 6, it was announced, is now getting a remastered treatment, just like 1 through 3 did. It's coming out in February. I didn't know there were this many.
I thought there was like 4, maybe.
I thought there was 3. I thought that was it. It was like the PS1 trilogy was it. And it went on the PS2. I clearly was not playing.
Were these all on PS2?
I think so, yeah. And Xbox.
Were they just the same as the first ones, but just prettier? Yeah. The weird tank controls and all that stuff.
I don't think it's that bad.
A little bit more modern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steam Next Fest is currently happening. It's going on through October 21st, and there's thousands of demos you can take advantage of. The Until Dawn movie has wrapped filming. It's coming out April of next year. I saw that was also announced today. Also, Colin talked about this. The Until Dawn remake that just came out has a different ending than the original Until Dawn, clearly teasing a sequel. Not only that, apparently this game runs like dog shit. It is bad. Like, the PS4 version runs at 60 frames per second. The new remake on PS5 capped at 30.
Weird.
Universal and Sega have announced a Shinobi movie. Speaking of Shinobi. What are we doing? What was the weird one they announced a couple podcasts ago that were like, what we have jumped the shark? Shinobi, I guess I could see it because it's a ninja thing, whatever. Do people still think ninjas are cool? I mean, I do. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's our generation was the last generation that was like, wow, ninjas. Yeah. Like, yeah. Now I want to look up what the other one was.
PS Plus extra games for October were announced, and they are Dead Island 2, 2 Point Campus, The Dark Pictures Anthology, The Devil in Me, Grease. I didn't even know that game was out yet. Or maybe I'm thinking of the new one by the people that make it. I don't know. No, it's just now leaving. Christy had us doing everything. Going to go to Baskin Robbins, and then I'll be back. Oh, Noah had a tough day at work. He's got to go to Baskin Robbins. That's my boy. Return to Monkey Island, Ghost Recon Wildlands, and more. Sean and I were talking about this on vacation. That, like, in my mind, I want to play Return to Monkey Island 2, or Return to Monkey Island, but I also don't want to play that on PlayStation. That's a PC game.
Right.
PS Plus premium games for October. Another PSVR 2 game, The Last Clockwinder, as well as Dino Crisis for PS1, that was already announced, Siren for PS2, and R-Type Dimensions EX, which was actually a PS4 game. I love shooters like that. That's cool. I don't know why they haven't just come out and said PS Plus Premium, at least I don't think they have, you get a PSVR 2 game every month.
I mean, they should.
Shortened.
What part of Shornt don't you understand?
Switch Online expansion pass update for October. The GBA got F-Zero GP Legend and F-Zero Climax. They're out now. One of those is the Japanese version. One is the American version for the GBA. Climax, that's a word that I don't normally say.
Are they the same game?
I think they're a little bit different, but I don't know. It's just a weird F-Zero Climax. I don't like that, Raymond. I don't like that one bit. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this episode of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. We thank you all so much for being here. This was a fun one. And Sean, until the next time, whenever that may be, go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing.